Hello, and welcome to the fifth session of this conversation Tech to Sustain Conversation for a Greener Tomorrow. The previous sessions, we talked about how the consumers are driving the new sustainability business models. And we also talked about how technology is driving sustainability in specific industry segments. Um, in this particular segment, we will be looking into how you should be looking at partnering with a technology service provider. Who should be your right technology service provider towards sustainability commitments? So, Vijay, back to you. We are at the last session of this particular discussion. So, what's your message to next stage consumer services companies? How do you choose a tech partner to support their sustainability commitments?
I think, great question. It is what I have seen is that, look, for what I believe is technology is easily replicable. You can find enough partners around you who can bring in technology. You know, what is not replicable is the culture, core culture. And here we are talking about coming together in a partnership model to which is outcome based, which is business outcomes. How much you can achieve. Can we help in terms of meeting the goals which the companies have defined? I think, in order to do that, you need to look for partner whose culture is based on trust, transparency, flexibility. This is something which you owe to your consumers. So companies whose core culture is based on trust, transparency, flexibility, whose core culture is also, ideapreneurship, which is embedded in the DNA. What does it mean? It means that we are seeing a lot of changes happening across last 2 years. If you see, with respect to how much, it has completely fast tracked the entire cloud journey for the retailers and the CPG companies. So you need partners who can bring in thought leadership. You need partners who can bring in ideas. So that's my message. Looking, I think, it is not only a technology conversation. It is like a marriage. It is like, it is a long term partnership. So choosing a partner whose core culture is trust, transparency, flexibility, and ideapreneurship. So those are the key, tenets which will define the success of a long term partnership.
Sure, thanks. And I think the closing question to Chevy, I think almost a similar question because yeah, you being a kind of a independent partner who sees these things with the abundance of all these tech solutions, diversified players, what would be your message to the consumer brands and retailers as to how they can choose the best fit partner for driving the sustainable solutions?
Yeah, our thank you, Santosh. Our answer here is consistent with the insights shared by my esteemed colleagues on this panel. For companies like HCL, as you compete for some of the largest transformational deals in the marketplace, your deal teams need to continue to influence the influencers in the evaluation process. Whether it's sole sourced or working with third party advisors like Avasant, I think it sounds so easy, but what you need to try to do is to obtain a greater weighting, not for the technical scoring or the risk scoring or even the price score, but as VJ said, it's for the functional business score, which includes the cultural fit, the sustainability cultural fit, and in the case of HCL, your differentiation. So, Santosh, I was so pleased to hear you say the initiative that's coming out from HCL. I think this drumbeat of consistent messaging will really resonate with the decision makers, these millennial decision makers and buyers. They're getting older, for the consumer brands and the retail industry ecosystems, and that's what I would say. So influence the influencers. Sounds easy, but yeah.
Absolutely, and thank you for an absolute pleasure hearing all of you. It has been some of the good learnings for me. As I said, I'm new to this specific to this sector, but I myself could take a lot of things onto my notes, and it has been wonderful having this panel discussion with all of you. And thank you all for taking time out and joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.